Hello, Frog fans. Welcome to Postgame Beers podcast. It's we're the Lupton Drinking Show. I'm your host tonight, Kyle Malloy, joined by my co-host Jacob. Sailors, Jacob, it's good to see you tonight.
Oi lads, welcome to the show. I don't have an Irish accent.
Ray producer, Crazy Ray Conrad. We've got the horse, Good Evans. Fellas, the Frogs did not quite have the luck of the Irish this weekend, but I am excited to be with you boys of the Lupton Drinking Club on St. Patrick's Day.
I love this, but I hope you're running out of steam real soon.
No, all
and out of steam, fellas.
the whole show.
There was no warning for that at all. None.
I love it.
Now I'm like, I wish I had some like Irish music queued up for you or something, but
Malloy is a traditional Irish name.
There you go. There's your producing feedback.
All right, and I'm done.
Okay.
And I'm out. Hey, we've got a bunch of sponsors tonight. I'm going to shout out one to start. Hey, fellas, have you tried? Let's see if I can get it close to the camera. I can't really
focus.
I got a long drink. It's a pineapple flavor. It's kind of a new flavor we've got tonight. I'm pretty excited to jump into that. There's also a zero sugar pineapple. There's a zero sugar peach. They're coming out with some zero sugar stuff, which is our favorite, but we just appreciate Long Drink for being here, as well as Chinook Cidery. So one of my favorites is jalapeno ranch, but also I'm not a big pickle fan, but I love the dill pickle flavor, which is crazy. So thank you to Chinook. Thank you to Long Drink. Jacob, I know we have a third sponsor. Do you want to jump into Anduno and kind of what they're doing for us?
Yeah, Anduno travel bags. We've been talking about the last few pods about our newest partner, Anduno, Anduno travel. The website is anduno.us. Go check them out. I can pull up the website right now because I got it, and it takes me 10 minutes to share my screen. So I'm going to vamp while I get it pulled up. Yeah, here it is. Here's the website. Clean website. Nice bag. So what you're looking at here, for those of you watching on YouTube, we appreciate you guys. So this is the travel bag. It can double as like an airplane carry-on and a gym bag. And you see here, it's got a compartment for your laptop. So I've been taking mine to work and using it as a gym bag. I can slide my laptop in there. And then I got my change of clothes for after the workout in the morning. There's some other views of it. But it's super handy. It works. It's the perfect carry-on. I mean, endless compartments, separate compartment for your shoes. Also an unbeatable price. And we've been talking about how great the price is for such a high quality bag. But if you go to checkout and enter LDC 2025, they're going to give you an additional 10% off. And for the first time now, I can announce that a portion of the proceeds will also go to Saving Hope Dog Rescue.
Oh, yes.
Sweet.
I love the good puppy dog.
Yeah, so they're going to actually kick back to that. This is a startup company founded by two TCU alums. The bags right now are in pre-order mode, but jump in while it's hot, grab these bags, use the promo code, help out a good cause, and, help us out a little bit. But more importantly, help out two former TCU alums who are huge Frogball fans, huge supporters of our pods, good dudes. Yeah. Anduno.us. Go check it out.
And help the good puppy dog.
Of course.
Fellas, so good to see you tonight. Come on bad terms. Obviously, everyone's kind of, in a down mood after the weekend. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to kind of chat about Frogball and kind of talk about what happened, where we are, and then next steps. But the fact that we get to talk about the Frogs, and I mean, there were some good things, so we're certainly going to mention those. Before we get started, Ray, where are you at, brother?
Casa de Cartwright.
All right. How we doing in there? Got some air conditioning?
Dude, we're doing good. Quick shout out TCU women's basketball.
Let's go.
Dude.
There it is.
How incredible was that scene last night?
I tuned in for it.
Women's basketball team in the history of TCU. How about that?
Dude, incredible. I mean, to see where they were 2 years ago, whenever I first started covering them, 1-17 in conference play, just dreadful. I think the only exciting thing that happened that year was there was a brawl between TCU and like George Mason in non-conference. Then you go to last year, new coach, new regime. Things are humming along. I mean, undefeated in non-conference play, immediately into conference play, injury. So much so that you're having to scour the campus for replacement players, for walk-ons. Fast forward to this year, 30 wins, Big 12 regular season title. It's never been done before by this team. Big 12 conference, the tournament title, also never done. And now they're a second seed in, I guess, the Birmingham region. They named their regions a little different in women's basketball, but with it a fantastic draw, dude. We're in the same bracket as Texas. Give me that matchup over South Carolina any day.
Yeah, I know absolutely nothing. I followed next to zero, but I just kind of assumed that we were going to get the 2 seed in the South Carolina regional.
That's where all the, or at least the one bracket guy I follow, had TCU going.
Yeah, because I figured by winning the Big 12, we snuck up into a 2 seed, but would be kind of the 4th ranked 2 seed,
right?
Which would match us up against South Carolina. So,
there's some fun matchups. The second round, if TCU as a 30-point favorite advances, and Louisville advances, then there's the opportunity Haley Van Lith plays her old school.
Yeah, I don't think that was a coincidence.
And I'm really surprised. So LSU is a 3 seed. Notre Dame's a 3 seed. I am surprised they're not in the same bracket.
Yeah.
But just think of the ratings, Haley Van Lith versus LSU in the Sweet 16 for a chance to go to the Elite 8.
Yeah, they went with the rematch against Notre Dame instead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. That kicks off Friday.
Yeah.
All right.
Friday, 2:30 p.m., I believe.
I think it's free to students, which I think is really cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's really
unfortunately,
cool.
a lot of them are going to be gone for spring break, but but hey,
true.
if you're
around,
in town,
get in
why
there.
would you not want to go to that game?
Maybe that's why it is free. But usually the NCAA takes over and you're no longer really in charge of your own home court. So,
right.
Well, hopefully, maybe if that's the case, maybe TCU said, "Screw it, we'll pay for all their tickets." And hope.
How cool would that be if we were hosting a regional and students got to come for free? Be a major revenue loss, but it'd be a great scene.
I don't know where they'd go because there's some seats up top and then GA. But...
And also, I think classes are out by then.
Yeah. Classes are done by like a month.
Yeah, that's true.
It's crickets around campus.
Right. Hey, I was always on campus over the summer, so I would have loved free regionals.
It's funny. I was always gone before Colonial hit, like the week after school's out. I'm like,
not even staying for the Big 12 championship. Dang. All right.
Fake fan.
Fellas, we've got a few games to talk about. So we're going to start off on a high note. The only high note of the weekend, I guess, was Friday night. Frogs took the game 3-2. It was fun to see Noah Franco, freshman phenom, hit his first home run at Lupton Stadium in the second inning. And the Frogs scored another run in the fourth. They were up 3-2, and they held that lead for the rest of the game. They won 3-2. I think this was really a story about pitching. You've got Tommy Lepore, who was moved from the Saturday spot to the Friday spot because Caden Parker was out. And then Braden Sloan did his damn thing, man. He went 4 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. I mean, I feel like we're going to talk about him a lot tonight and kind of figure out what the next step is for him. But man, what a high note to be there with you guys on Friday night, just going nuts. We had victory alma mater. I mean, we had great vibes going into the first weekend series of the Big 12.
Yeah. No, it was awesome, man. Great crowd, really high energy game, not high scoring, but the pitching was phenomenal. It felt like, okay, first, let me back up. Tommy Lepore going from Saturday to Friday, that should not be overlooked. Because that's a step up in pressure and everything else. And he did great. So his line was 5 innings, 6 hits, only 1 earned run allowed, 2 walks and 3 strikeouts. I think what we know now about Arizona State's offense, that's an amazing job. But didn't it feel like once Braden Sloan came in, I know I kind of took my foot off the fan gas, so to speak. I was just kind of just cruising to the finish line with him in there.
Dude, you did not go feet up on the coffee table. You
Not
didn't
fully, but I definitely relaxed when he came in.
No doubt, dude, because that's the position he's put us in so far this year. I mean, I was beat up on the coffee table. I watched that game from home. I couldn't make it out Friday night.
Right.
So once Braden's in the game, dude, it's crack the laundry, put your feet up, and let's ride this out.
I think there were some tight moments on Friday night, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
I don't remember any when Sloan was in.
Right.
Well, I want to go back to Tommy, and it should be understated. To start the game, hella wind,
dude,
hella wind, and
West Texas dust storm.
Oh my God, was that the dustiest game you've ever been to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it was because I had to close my eyes multiple times because my eyes are crying. The dust flying in.
That was insane. Imagine trying to pitch in that.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Real quick, when Braden Sloan came into the game, TCU's win probability was at 55%. From there, it's just a steady climb towards 100%. Until the top of the 8th, when Braden Sloan hit their leadoff hitter, Kian Vu, to start the inning. But then quickly after that, strikeout, pop up, pickoff, caught stealing, pickoff. Yeah.
Voo-hoo.
Yeah. So at that point when Kian Vu was hit, it was 66%. But from there on, man, it was just a steady climb to 100%. So feels like win probability backs up kind of how I was feeling in the game.
That was win number 6 in a row. Gosh, that was such a fun night to be there. And I mean, just felt good about the team.
Hey, real quick, let me ask you guys a general question. When we're doing these pods and we win the Friday game and we know we have Saturday and Sunday to talk about, does it take away from how you reflect on the Friday game?
A little bit.
Say that again.
All right. So
are you
we
saying
do these?
because
We do a
lost the
recap
series?
podcast, right?
Yeah.
We have to talk about all 3 games. We talk about them in sequential order.
Yeah.
But it's like we start on a high, but in the back of our minds, we know what we have to talk about next.
It's certainly a pit in your stomach.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
for sure.
I was wondering if I was alone in that.
So I want to say something, and I think we're gonna get to this because we're gonna talk about Saturday and Sunday. But does TCU have a Saturday and Sunday problem? Because we haven't lost a game on Friday night yet, and every single time they lose, it's a Saturday and Sunday. They've lost to Southern Miss. They've lost to obviously Arizona State this weekend. You can't really count it because it's different teams, but at Globe Life they lost to Arkansas and Kansas State. I mean,
well, I think there's one factor there, and that the factor on a Friday that hasn't changed, and that's that Braden Sloan hasn't allowed a run in his last 13 2/3 innings of work. So you can throw whoever you want in front of him on Friday. I don't think anyone's going to score on him. I don't know.
All right. I want to break this down, MK, a little farther because we swept Fresno. We swept San Diego, right? And we can say what we want about those teams. But the other Friday and Saturday games that we're referencing here is Arkansas, who, what are they, number 2 in the country now? Number 3?
Well, Friday was Michigan. Saturday was Arkansas.
Right, yeah. But I'm talking about the Saturday and Sunday games that
gotcha.
we've lost.
Okay. So it's a good team is what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, and you can say what you want about K-State, but they threw their best pitcher on Sunday.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Southern Miss, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona State, it remains to be seen, but dude, I was really worried about getting 2 out of 3 in this series. I really was. So it's not like we're just losing games that we're heavily favored in. This is 3 weeks of now. I wish some of these had gone our way. I wish we weren't 0-6 in these games.
I think what's interesting though is these games have been at home versus like
4 out of the 6.
If we lose 2 or 3 in a tough opponent, let's say I don't know, I'm making this up. Let's say Arizona's, at the top of their game when we get there in May and we lose 2 out of 3. Okay, well that's kind of expected because they're hosting, right?
Right.
Cincinnati last year, they were better than expected. We shouldn't have lost that, but we did.
We should have got swept. That's for sure.
These games are at Lupton, and we should take 2 out of 3 no matter what.
No matter what might be a little far, but I think in one of the 2 series, because one of them was at Globe Life, so we'll just put that aside. Yeah,
Southern Miss and now
Arizona State. At least in one of those, it's extremely disappointing we didn't win one of those series. Extremely.
Yeah.
And ultra winnable too, dude. Ultra freaking winnable too. That's what's so frustrating.
Should we finish recapping the other 2 games and then we can give blanket thoughts?
Yeah. I was going to skip past Saturday because it didn't happen.
Lightning.
So here's my experience of Saturday.
Yeah.
It's more fun to talk about this than it is actually what happened. So, Jacob jumped over, for pregame drink, and I was like, hey, I'll be a little bit late. I actually need to take a nap. I was exhausted. So
that's what it was.
Yep. Rolled in, maybe the second inning. I think we came in the second inning, and I turn on Chuck, as I'm rolling up the street of Bel Air, and he's like 10-0, Arizona State. I'm like, what in the world?
Yeah.
So I come in, you guys are there, you're hanging out, and you're like, why would you show up? And I'm like, hey, I wanted to be here for the greatest comeback ever at Lupton Stadium, right? 2 innings later, it's 17-0. And at 23-0 is when I looked at my daughter and I said, sweetheart, I love you very much, but I have better things to do with the rest of my day. So let's head out. And she obviously didn't care, but anyway, it was just y'all. There's no hate intended at all, but you're like, I think it was maybe the 4th or 5th, and you're like, we're gonna go grab drinks because that's more fun than whatever we're doing here tonight.
I was ready to go in the second. I'm not kidding.
So you said you had a tweet or a comment, maybe in the first, because it was 4-0. You said, hey, 30-0 is on the table.
That was in the second at 10-0.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No. Ray, Garrett, and me, and a few of our friends of the pod, we headed over to a spot down near 7th Street. And I think the tweet I sent from LDC was TC Baseball gave us lemons, so we made green beer. We had a pretty good little afternoon. So when we scored our first runs of the game, somebody said, like, hey, we're on the board. We started a TCU chant in the middle of the bar.
I think at that point it was like 23-1 or something. I mean, it was
dude.
Yeah,
the comeback was definitely on for sure.
Yeah.
Such a comical number.
So I guess to talk some baseball here, we had Mason Brassfield making his first start.
Yeah.
And dude, when you're making your first start ever, it's very hit or miss on what can happen. We saw what happened with Noah Franco on Sunday. Well, the opposite happened to poor Mason Brassfield, as everything was over the plate and everything was getting hit hard.
Yeah, I was late to the game and could have swore I saw the first home run ball rolling by me as I was walking through lot 13.
Well, what was crazy was, like, I showed up to the stadium and, Brassfield's warming up in the top of the first, and I just glanced up at Arizona State's lineup and I'm like, they're sitting their best hitter today. This is great. Well,
so
guess they didn't need him.
So Brassfield pitched 6 innings on the previous Sunday against Fresno State. He gave up 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk. What changed? Did you guys see anything different besides
just leaving everything over the plate, dude?
Okay.
I honestly, I'm not inside Mason Brassfield's head, but it looked to me like a freshman freak out making his first start.
And then compounded, the very first batter takes you about 500.
Right. Yeah.
That just adds to that freak out.
And
now
that was
you're trying to press and make every perfect pitch.
That was wind aided, and I don't know if he goes on to have a good day after that, but I would have loved to seen if that ball gets caught short of the track for out number 1, if maybe he relaxes and settles in. but he didn't. That one was over. Oh, all right. It was over before we sent our fifth guy to the plate.
Yeah.
It's so sad. It's so
You want to
sad.
hear? Okay, so in a game like this, there's some fun stats.
Do you look at the
Like,
win projection at some point? Like,
yeah, dude.
were
You want
looking at that?
to go there? Hold on.
Yep.
Give me a second on that one. I'll
Okay.
pull that up while I'll tell you this one. So, of the guys TCU pitched that pitched one whole inning, can you guess who gave up the fewest amount of earned runs?
Gianluca.
No, it was Trevor Baumler.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
sure
So-
enough. Yeah.
He gave up 10 hits, 10 runs, but only 2 were earned.
Oh, damn.
Let's go.
So no one else pitched an inning, like a full inning after that?
Well, no, several guys pitched a full inning. Mason
Oh, yeah.
Brassfield went 1. Mason Bixby went 1. Baumler went 1 2/3. Cormier went 2 1/3.
Luca too.
Lucas Shin went 2 1/3. Caden Smith pitched 2/3 of an inning. But the earned run totals were 6, 4, 2, 3, 3. Only 18 earned runs. But out of Baumler's 10 runs allowed, only 2 were earned. So he gave up the fewest amount of earned runs.
comment in the section from Thomas. TCU's worst loss in 25 years, probably in 25 years. Their worst loss, I think they posted it that day, was like 24 runs. And the fact that they scored 9 in the last 2 innings took them out of that record. So they only lost by 17. Great job, fellas. Might be the most runs scored in Lupton. I haven't done that research. I don't know.
38 runs in 18 innings, though, is just comical. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
When TCU came to bat in the in the bottom of the second, Arizona State's win probability was 93%.
I'm surprised it was that low.
Well, I looked this up. I don't have it in front of me, but maybe on Thursday I can have some notes for this. There's been some ridiculous comebacks in college baseball history. Now, let's see. When is this? Top of the third. Here, let me go to.
What was it the first time TCU went through their entire lineup? Like every guy hit.
Let's see. Who hit ninth? Jack Bell? Okay.
I feel
So
like
by
that
the time
happened- I feel like that
Griffin-
happened later that game in the 8th inning.
Griffin came up. No, he's saying by the time we got through the lineup one time. So by Griffin's second at bat, Arizona State 99.62. It was 11-0. And it's literally like an episode of ER where it's flatlined from the 3rd inning all the way to the 9th.
There was
Does that show you like baseball's such a weird sport?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. I think it was the 3rd or 4th, and Martin sent us a text, and he's like, "Hey, what if they just pulled Martinez, who's the pitcher at that point, and had him had him come out on Sunday again just to pitch again?"
Did he say that too? I said, I don't know if we both said that. Did he say that too?
Maybe all both did, but the fact that like he left him in there for a 4th inning, I'm like, all right, let's go. We don't have to face him tomorrow.
Yeah, let's get him on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
No, teams don't do that. It's funny to think about. They could do that, but they don't do that.
They might do that in a regional, with playing. So anyway, rough outing for literally every pitcher: Mason Brassfield, Mason Bixby, Trevor, Carson Cormier, Gian Gianluca, and then Caden Smith. So everybody gave up a run except for Caden Smith, who pitched only in the 9th inning. Everybody gave up earned runs, multiple earned runs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like there's an award for that at some point. All right, what you looking at, Jacob?
This is the chart, so you can see where we flatlined in the 3rd inning.
TCU is dead.
Yeah.
Not even a bump in the 8th when we're putting a touchdown on the board?
No. 99.95, 99.96, 97, 98. We actually hit 100%, which is super rare before the end of the game. Like what that means is there's never been a situation in college baseball history where a team's come back from this position at this time in the game.
Dude,
this is bottom of the 9th, 1 out.
Yeah.
We hit 100%.
Okay.
So we still had a chance with nobody out.
All right. So
I mean, hey, kudos to
98.99.
them that at least they didn't give up.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't.
Yeah.
They
Well,
they still tried.
so that was my feeling, Ray.
So,
and
real-
I sent that out and I said, hey, good for the boys that they're not giving up. And then the comments were, well, because they're throwing, garbage pitchers, at the back of their bullpen.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think-
still got to go hit them.
I think what we said at the bar was, yeah, Arizona State's throwing Make-A-Wish kids.
Oh.
Okay. So this is Kirk said it. Actually, I appreciate his comments after the game. He did not, make excuses. He did say this might be easier to flush than a 1-0 game. When you're tight and you really want to win that game. When you're down 23-0, it's like, all right, let's get through the game. No injuries. Let's move on to tomorrow.
I think it's harder on the fans for sure than it is the players.
Well,
Because we're looking at it I'm not saying they're not paying attention to any of this, but
yeah,
it's like you have a chance to win the series and you have perfect weather. It's an immaculate crowd that it was packed. Let me look at the
It
attendance.
was like
for this,
45 or something like that.
which is about what 4760.
that's a
So in
great crowd.
Above average crowd. And then it's
Baylor
over before.
could never.
Dude, you're standing in the beer line and the game's over. Like you haven't even really sat down yet.
Yeah.
100%.
It's such a nut kick, man. And so there was some chatter on Twitter about, what is Kurt doing? How come he didn't have these guys prepared? And it's like, I don't think he told Mason Brassfield to lose the game before our fifth hitter came to the plate. I mean, sometimes things happen, dude.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, I'm the one that was clamoring all week. Hey, let's give Mason Brassfield a shot at the weekend.
I was
If
fine with that.
if not Sloan, then Brassfield.
At
Well,
some
I think
point,
once Cademan was ruled out for the weekend, I think that was pretty well understood. Brassfield would start a game.
I think your point stands though, Jacob. It's like, they can tell them certain things to do in terms of like, hey, you're going to show up at this time, you're going to warm up, you're going to, be at the training table, you're going to do these things. But at the same time, he can't give these kids melatonin to go to sleep at night. He can't, like, hey, wake up on, with your alarm clock. He's not going to micromanage them to the point of like, hey, they know they should be ready. They've been playing baseball for their entire lives. So,
And for all we know, they were hella ready. But
yeah,
like Silva takes his first at bat at 12-0. I mean, it doesn't matter how ready Silva is to hit.
Yeah.
The game's over. He didn't get a chance to play.
all right.
Yeah,
Anything else on Saturday before moving on Sunday?
No.
Okay. All right. 1-1 for the series. Obviously, rubber match on Sunday. Kind of a quiet game for, let's say, 5. I'm going to go with 5 innings or so.
Dude, quiet. We had Noah Franco dealing.
I'm saying in terms of score, but Noah Franco pitched
gotcha.
4 2/3, killing. He only 1 earned run, 1 walk. I mean, just actually it was pretty awesome to watch him not only
He's
pitch
so electric,
but also hit with his second home run of the weekend at Lupton. My daughter goes, "Hey, pitchers aren't allowed to hit, are they?" And I said, "Well, they are. They're allowed to. It just doesn't happen often." She's like, "What do you mean? I thought they weren't allowed to." I'm like, "Well, nobody's good enough except for this kid, Mr. Noah Franco." And then kind of things fell off the wagon there in the 6th inning when we gave up a 3-run home run. And at the end of the game, it was I want to say the 8th inning or so, 8-5. I still felt good because, I mean, perfect weather, sitting outside there in the sun. It was like cool in the shade, hot in the sun, perfect day at Lupton. And you're kind of waiting for the Frogs to just like put one more thing together to take this game back. And unfortunately, they give up a grand slam in the 8th inning. I watched that ball go over the fence, and at that point, you're like, okay, it's 12-5. This is over. What was interesting is that the Frogs did not give up. They came back in the 9th inning. You've got a Franco single. Kramer scored at that point. Stroh-Snyder tripled, and all of a sudden, these hits that were not falling the entire game started falling left and right, just like it happened to Arizona State on Saturday. At some point, you look up and you're like, it's 12-11. They're down by 1 run, and they have a chance to win this game. Unfortunately, they come up short. But you always wonder what would have happened had they not given up that grand slam. Could they have come back and just scored a couple runs and tied it, or taken it to extras, maybe kind of won the game in the ninth inning? And just too little, too late. The fact that they scored 6 runs in the ninth inning, it's like, where was that the entire game? Where was that all day Saturday? So definitely left Frog fans feeling frustrated kind of at the end result of losing 2 out of 3.
Yeah. And man, I mean, we could what if this game to death. I mean, we really just needed a pulse out of the bullpen after what Franco did to start the game. And dude, it's like you bring in a guy and people are like, why are we bringing in this guy instead of this guy? We start second guessing the choices. And then it's like, see, I knew it. Like, we should have brought in this other guy. Then we bring in the other guy and he gives up a bunch of runs. It's like, you can't just write everything off on bullpen management decisions. At some point, somebody's got to step up and get a damn out.
Make a pitch.
And nobody did that except Noah Franco on Sunday. Like this game is so much more frustrating to me than the blowout on Saturday, because this game was disgustingly winnable. You literally needed just one person to show up and do something in the bullpen. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. But the performance we saw on Sunday cannot repeat itself going forward.
Yeah, well said, man.
Dude, yeah. I mean, Luis Rodriguez.
I know, it's so. Oh, that's so gutting, man.
Can we?
I mean, let's
talk about Lewis for a second. So
he had nothing.
One third of an inning, gave up 3 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. He completely off. Not the Lewis that we know. Hoping that's a glitch in the matrix. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it a glitch?
No, I'm asking the question. We're hoping it is. I don't know.
It just doesn't seem he's been very crisp this season.
Yeah.
Well, I brought it up on Thursday when we were just kind of throwing out Luis Rodriguez as, well, he's automatic. And I'm like, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, his stat line looks pretty good against Texas State for the most part. But it's a lot of line drive outs. Like a lot of, I wouldn't call it really luck factor, but high variance, where on it, if he's slightly off, things can go way south real quick. And that's what we saw on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And what frustrated me more is he wasn't executing pitches. It's not like he was throwing it where he wanted to and they were just hitting it. I mean, he had no command of anything. Which, okay, that's fine. Right? But then we throw 3 more guys behind him. I'm going to leave out Cade Udy. He pitched 1/3 of an inning. But nobody picked him up. Not one guy. Nobody picked him up.
Like Lewis clearly didn't have his stuff, but then you still rattle through 3 more freaking bullpen arms after that. And all you had to do was pick up a little bit of weight for Noah, and you win that game.
Yeah.
And did they? Do you think they pulled Noah too early, or was it just more of a matter of like, hey, he's reached his limit, and we're still trying to extend him a little bit?
3 was the plan. Said 4 would be amazing, 5 would be ecstatic. He went 4 2/3.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So he was ecstatic.
And I think they pulled him because there was a righty coming in. So he started that 5th inning. There were 2 lefties coming up, and Kirk was like, all right, go get the 2 lefties, and then your day's done.
Well, it's crazy because they obviously saved Lewis on Saturday. They were not going to use him on Saturday. They're going to keep him for Sunday.
Yep.
And he comes in and just, man, that was rough.
That's the thing, man. Like, for this to be a good bullpen, Luis Rodriguez has to be good.
Go on.
I just don't think we have enough guys with enough experience, with enough seasoning to say, all right, we can't throw Lewis because he's unreliable. So we got to make up for Luis Rodriguez. I think already with the A-belt injury, and Cademan, I think Cademan's fine, but we didn't have him this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Lewis has to pick those innings up that are missing.
Yeah, or else you're going to get wide variance results because
Exactly
this is
right.
a really young staff, right?
Right. So,
So
I
they're going to look
expect-
one weekend awesome.
Yeah.
And then, next weekend they look like they've never pitched before. That's
I
what you're going to get
expect-
with freshmen.
I expect Trey Newman and Nate Stern to be up and down from appearance to appearance, but I don't expect it from a junior and Luis Rodriguez, who has had a ton of responsibility on this staff.
Kind of going into my next question is, we would hope that Lewis is our most reliable out of the pen. Let's not talk about Braden Sloan for a second.
No, he's the second starter on Fridays. He's not even a bullpen guy.
Hey,
Yeah.
where are we at with cloning?
Yeah. But besides Lewis, who's your go-to if we don't think he's reliable, right? So
Right. That's
Let me-
kind of my point, really.
Yeah. Golly. Yeah, that's you really need your junior to step up and fill those shoes, man.
Especially because we've already mentioned Sloan and what his role is. Another guy you could mention is Mason Brassfield,
Mhm.
but those are two lefties. So even if you took out Brassfield and Sloan, you need a righty.
Brassfield
so-
obviously had more experience, had more success coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing of being a freshman, like you said, bright lights, getting rocked early, not knowing what to do at that point. So if we can project a little bit to Texas Tech, who do we think starts for the rotation?
Cademan, Lepore, Franco.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, that
Sounds-
would be great, right? If
Yeah.
we back.
Granted, good health.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the official word is, and honestly, I don't really care right now. But Cademan's apparently all of his test results came back clean, and it was an abundance of caution, and he should be good. If the official reports say something different, then I'll walk it back. But
Question from Thomas in the chat about, he said Traeger hasn't seen many outings. He's talking about Jax Traeger, not Nolan, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
We haven't seen Jax all year, have we? I mean, maybe in a Tuesday night game at some
he's
point.
Thrown. He's thrown very limited. I actually have taken him off my graphs because he's thrown so little.
Yeah, I guess when I see a guy that infrequently, it tells me they don't have trust in him at all,
Right.
or they're, I don't know what's going on. If he is,
Or just other guys are earning it.
Yeah, that's probably more it.
Mhm.
Dude, I still want to see more Cade Udy.
Yeah, no doubt.
Mhm.
That's one guy I would name.
I feel like he had a good outing early on in the year. I can't remember which game it was, but
San Diego.
Yeah,
Okay.
he played well.
What if-
against San
Is
Diego.
Tyler Finau, is he hurt? We've only seen him once this year.
man, we were talking about how deep
I don't
this
know.
pen was, and now we're talking about how shallow it is. It's crazy. It's like,
Well, okay, so we're assuming if not Lewis, right?
Yeah.
The answer's Lewis. But that goes back to what I said is he can't have outings like that on a day where you're trying to win a
Mhm.
series. We had just taken the lead.
Right.
You can't go out and spike your off speed and miss with your fastball.
Mhm.
But if it happens to just be one game and he comes out next time and he's fine, then great. But dude, it sucked losing that game. It sucked losing that series.
It really did.
and then giving us hope at the end, like the ninth inning. I'm like, I get home early in like, I want to say the eighth inning, because I'm pissed off. I leave the game. I start doing yard work, start raking the front yard, listening to the game on my phone. And all of a sudden they start coming back. I'm like, what is going on here?
Start sprinting down Bel Air.
Walk inside,
me in.
turn the
Let me
game
in.
on, ninth inning, and then game ends, and I'm like, you gave us hope. It's the worst thing.
Yeah, and one thing too is we could talk more about this on Thursday, but a frustrating kind of consequence of losing that series is we're getting to the point we're running out of quad one opportunities.
Correct.
So if it comes down to
Because Texas
Are
Tech,
we-
you want to talk about? Let's talk
well,
about.
no. Hold on, let me finish my point. So if we're going to talk about is TCU going to be able to host a regional, and we've already lost to Arkansas, K-State, we dropped the series to Southern Miss, we dropped the series to Arizona State. What are the quad one games left on the schedule? You have Arizona, I mean,
Is UTRGV quad 1 at this point? 'Cause
they are. I don't know where they're going to end up, but
At the moment, they certainly are.
No, we're running out. I feel like we did this exercise last year, and we're like, hey, what does it take to host, and what does it take to make a regional? And we did this throughout the year and kept going down. Hey, towards the end, we're like, we just want to make a regional, and that didn't even happen.
Cam mentioned UCF. I did forget about UCF.
About DBU.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, our schedule was top heavy, and we're losing a lot of those games that we consider to be good opponents.
Yeah.
And at some point we need to win some of those, or you can take hosting off the table.
Yeah. I would pull it off the table now until they show us differently, honestly.
Yeah, dude, I think overall going forward, there's still a lot of talent on this team. It just feels like we're repeating the same stuff from last year and for half of the season of the year before. So it's becoming a little frustrating when it's like, we know we have the potential. Let's see it on the field.
How do you fix that?
Ben Abelt, you're immediately healthy.
Ben Abelt's right arm.
I mean, we're missing that guy, though. I mean, seriously. I mean, I feel like he kind of held the pitching staff together last year, you know?
Like, the pitching was not good on Saturday or Sunday. We know that. But up until that point, the pitching's been really good. I don't think 2 games should just make us say, damn, see, knew it.
Yeah.
We needed Abelt this whole time when we spent a whole month saying, wow, we're really filling in for Abelt quite nicely. What we really needed this weekend was Cademan Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, isn't that what we've said all year is, you can withstand losing Ben, right?
Yeah.
But then if another arm goes down, especially another Friday night arm, now you're starting to scramble a little bit.
2 Friday night arms, right? Yeah, right.
It becomes a domino effect really quickly.
Well, and the fact that they pitched Lepore and Sloan on Friday night, I was obviously excited about the win, right? But then you think, okay, we've used our 2 best just to win 1 game. Is that worth it? Right? I know you all talked about this a lot last week.
Better than getting swept.
I agree. I'm just saying, could you spread those guys out? We're going to have this conversation 15 more times this year, but
no, I think they made the right call on Friday.
Yeah,
because
Kelly brings up a great point in the chat. Ton of errors, dude. Can we not make a throw to first base?
Yeah,
no doubt.
Let's package that for Thursday. I'm going to break down what the impact of those errors were. Like, yes, on a fundamental level, let's not make 6 errors in 2 days. I agree. But I don't know if that was really the problem when it comes to actually impacting the game.
No, I mean, definitely not.
You're going to look at
allow 26 runs, but I mean, it's just frustrating as a fan.
Oh,
right?
Shit. Hold on.
Well,
did we make 2 on Friday too? Yeah, we did.
So ignore the ones on Saturday. If you look at Sunday alone, I don't know how many errors were on Sunday, but
2.
Even just mentally, like, what if it didn't actually make a difference in the statistical change of who's going to win the game, but somebody makes an error and the whole team kind of their heart drops a little bit, like, oh, come on.
Or they start pressing.
Yes.
I don't know.
Start trying to make the perfect throw, and now they're shooting it well into 103.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about win probability is it does kind of capture emotion, because I think your emotions are based on what's the likelihood we can win this game. So if it's already 17-0 and we make an error, I don't think the team is really like saying, damn, that's the turning point right there. Like, if not for that, damn. I think, like,
still
if you're talking about
as a fan,
if you're talking, but I think what's more frustrating is being down 17-0.
We should pitch to Mike Buddy is, if they make 2 errors and we're down by 10, beers are half price.
$2 beers.
Keep the fans in the stadium. Keep them loud. I mean, who loses in this situation?
So I'm just kind of browsing through this, and I think half of our errors were made by the pitchers.
Oh man, some intense PFP
Third of
coming this
them.
week.
Cut them
And then-
all.
And
Cut all
then
the pitchers.
I'm seeing one made by Brody Green on Sunday, which I don't know if that really had any impact once Brody Green was in the game.
He had a pretty cool double that scored 2 runs.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying.
And his second or third at bat back. It was pretty awesome. So.
And
You know-
I don't think anything on Saturday was error related, even though we had a shit ton of unearned runs.
Working off of that, Scott says in the chat, I realize Brody Green is working his way back, which they, slowly brought him along. Do y'all think he'll get more at bats going forward?
I think he
100%.
starts tomorrow, and
Yeah.
I think he probably starts this weekend.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
I've been waiting on him. to be. I don't know if he was just not healthy enough to play every day. If he was still
Does he
working
start at where does he start? First, second, or third?
pick one.
I like his height. He seems taller than
His stance is so wide. It's awesome.
I think the bigger question is who comes out of the lineup for Brody Green, and I think that answer's pretty obvious.
It reminds me of Jeff Bagwell, except Jeff Bagwell was like 5 feet. Brody Green's out there. His legs are like so wide in his hitting stance. It's awesome.
you
I
say
think
it's
most-
obvious.
Yeah, Jack Bell's got to come out of the lineup. Out of the guys who are playing every day,
Yeah.
you can almost make a case for Cole Kramer and how he's performed lately, but I think he offers you a power threat. Yes, I know Jack Bell has 3 home runs, but
I haven't
What's
looked at this closely, obviously, because otherwise I have a better answer. But I feel like we had more change in the lineup last year at this time than we do this year. You got a few guys that are kind of mixing in and out, but it's not the same like just bottom to top flip over. Guys that are in ninth now they're leading off.
yeah,
It seems more consistent. I don't know if you guys feel that way.
yeah, it definitely is. But I think Brody Green needs to play, and I think he needs to play for Jack Bell.
So back to Noah. Who's everyone's favorite comp for any two-way player that comes through TCU?
Lucan Baker.
Lucan Baker. Do you know what Lucan Baker did in his first start as a Horned Frog?
No.
On the mound. It was against Loyola Marymount. 6 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. At the plate, he went 1 for 3 with the 2-run home run and a walk.
Very similar.
Yeah, golly, that's fun. Fun stat.
Lucan is I feel like his swing is more adaptable to getting hits. I mean, he obviously is a power hitter, but he can spray the ball wherever he wants.
I think
Franco just he's a power hitter. I mean, his swing is so hard.
I think if Martin were here,
thing.
he would say Franco has more game power.
I'm just waiting for him to smash one over that left field fence.
Dude, that one he hit on Saturday was extremely impressive too.
Yeah.
Deep part of the ballpark.
Yeah.
Or was that Sunday? Sorry. Well, either one.
He's hit a couple home runs now in Lupton. I'm just waiting for him to connect with one over the right field fence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dude,
like that.
there was one on Sunday. It was earlier in the game, and it was a hanging curveball on 3-2, I think. And from me watching it on TV, I see the ball out of the pitcher's hand, and my eyes lit up like saucer dishes or whatever. And he fouled it off, and he just had this big grimace on his face. And I was doing the exact same reaction. Like he knew he had one to absolutely annihilate. And he takes the next one for a walk, I think. So there's that. But boy, he had one that you were just talking about, MK, that he could have cleared Bel Air with.
The trees.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And he knew it, and I knew it. And so yeah, to your point, it's going to happen soon. He's not going to foul off every one of them.
Hey, we've taken up most of the air, but Garrett, do you have any notes that we haven't mentioned about game 1, 2, or 3 that are worth sharing?
No, dude. No, we've covered everything that I had written down. frustrating weekend at Lupton, but like you said at the top, still good things. Noah's awesome, but yeah, just all in all, kind of a big nut kick.
4 games this week at DBU and then at Texas Tech for 3-game series. Are y'all still going to the game?
Don't think I'm going to make this one.
Okay.
I won't be able to make Lubbock.
It's tough. Tough trip. I don't know if Martin's going out there, but
it's just hard with me because I work on Sundays, so I'd only be able to go to Friday.
Yeah.
Because Saturday's a late afternoon start.
We're actually heading to Phoenix. I'll get to see Royals Rangers preseason or spring training game.
Dude, Bobby Witt Jr.
That'll be fun, dude. I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for this week. This is our kids' spring break, so we're taking a week off. Good week to do it with the Frogs out of town all week. So,
yeah. Speaking of spring training, Kelly asked, "Will Lucan make the Cards roster?" He will, and then they'll just bury him on the bench because the Cardinals, for whatever reason, hate Lucan, or they'll send him down after like 5 games because he's not
played
getting
well
at-bats.
too when he's gotten called up. The few at bats he's had, they need to get him in there. Come on, St. Louis, do the right thing.
I like Thomas's energy. Next Monday, we're going to say what a great week of frog ball.
I think I probably projected a little too much frustration over one weekend where we didn't even get swept. But I think I still have high hopes for this team going forward. And I hope Thomas is right. But
we've seen flashes, right? We've seen flashes of greatness. We've seen great innings where, like, hey, they're putting everything together.
I think that's the most frustrating part.
Yeah,
you know how good this team can be.
That's why it's so frustrating.
I texted Martin today and I said West Virginia and Kansas State should not be having more fun than us right now.
Dude, hell, even freaking Texas Tech swept their weekends.
They're still not having fun. They're still 6-11. So I left them out, but
they're having fun this weekend.
I was not looking forward to the conversation, but as always, I feel better about it afterwards. I don't know about you guys. Just to talk about frog ball, talk about the ups and downs. We were frustrated, but it's just fun to chat it out and kind of work it out together.
It's a good way to vent it.
Yeah, exactly. Final thoughts before we chime out, fellas. Jacob, what you got?
No, I think I got it all out of my system.
All right, Ray?
Wait.
Oh, wait.
I was going to mention who's starting tomorrow, and it's leaving my mind. Who's got the note on
Cole Klecker?
Cole Klecker. Okay,
baby.
yeah. I just wanted to get that out there.
White Lightning.
The blonde bomber?
Blonde bomber.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, another windy Tuesday. It's supposed to be hella wind. And I don't know
really
how
again
DBU's park plays to the wind. I'm sure as many home runs as
home run
DBU
derby.
hits.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Home run derby.
All right. Garrett, what you got?
Ready for tomorrow, man. Let's go win a baseball game.
Let's go have a 4-0 week.
Need this one. Need Cole Klecker to get back to normal.
For the feel goods.
Thanks to Kelly. Thanks to Scott, Thomas.
Hold on. We need it for the quad 1 win.
Yeah. You really do.
Yeah, they're top.
AKA
they're top
the feel
25.
goods.
Yep. Thanks to Craig, Kelly, Thomas, Scott, Cam. Thanks for everyone joining the live chat on YouTube tonight. We are obviously on at Lipton Beers on the X, on Instagram. We appreciate all of our followers. Thankful for our sponsors.
And please help us out on YouTube and subscribe. Even if you never if you don't normally subscribe to accounts, just go there real quick and just hit the button. It really helps us out.
You're not going to get any messages from us. We're never going to send you crap.
Make sure to smash that like button.
It's just going to help with our social stuff. So we appreciate it. Fellas, as always, love being with you and love talking about the Frogs, regardless of win or loss. 2-2 week for the Frogs. We expect a 4-0 week this week. I can't wait to get back and talk about it again. So as always, go Frogs! Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Go Frogs.